Hey guys, it's Leo, and we've had a pretty interesting episode this week. KIRAKIRA PRECURE episode 29 was centered on Yukari, and as you guys know, she is my favorite character, so I was pretty excited for it, and this episode delivered everything that I dreamed of it, and it was very nice. I've seen some people complaining about this episode on the internet because they were expecting this episode to be around Yukari's and Akira's relationship, and it wasn't. And I am very glad that it wasn't, because it's very interesting when we have a character that is not centered only on a relationship. We're more than that. We as humans, as people, we are more than a simple relationship with someone else, a love relationship. And it's so common on media, especially media geared towards girls. It's so common that we have some characters that are very centered on a love relationship with someone else. So everything about that character is about his or her relationship with someone, his or her love relationship, or his feelings about someone else. So I am very glad that we have this other side of Yukari being shown. So we have so many different sides of Yukari being shown, and I'm loving it. I'm loving how they're handling her character. So first of all, we have some pretty funny and interesting moments right at the start with the girls talking about Yukari and talking about how her personality is. And I loved how Himmarin had her little moment with Yukari and how she reacted to that. It was so cute, and it's so nice to see Yukari in those little moments, you know, interacting with the girls and bonding with the girls. And it was nice. I liked when Himmarin said, it's nice because I feel like I'm closer to her now. And you know, Yukari is someone that is kind of hard to get close to, you know, and after this episode we noticed that it's something very rare for her is making friends with people. And that's a very interesting point about her that I want to talk about later on. So yeah, we've seen her with Akira, so we know that she spends a lot of time with Akira. But we also know that this is something totally new to her. Not only with Akira, but the other Kirapachi girls. This relationship, this friendship relationship is something totally new to her life. So she doesn't really know how to deal with that. And it's very interesting because she sees Akira talking to everyone and making everyone happy. And she's like, I can't do that. It's not part of me. So how can she get so happy helping other people and, you know, just enjoying those little things in life? It's just not part of Yukari's personalities, and she notices that, and at the same time she notices it, she feels, she almost feels guilty by not being as happy as Akira or other people, because people can feel happy with so many things and she doesn't. Everything for her feels very saddening and lonely. And this loneliness of hers was shown very well. And I think that one of the best things about this episode was the soundtrack. We had almost no soundtrack, and when there was soundtrack, it was very chill and very low music. We couldn't hear it clearly. And by this moment, it was very interesting because it sets the tone for what Yukari is feeling. And everything that she's feeling is inside of her. You know, it's not something that happened that triggered it. It's just herself dealing with things that are happening around her, dealing with her loneliness, dealing with her solitude. So the episode was very gloomy, and the setting of this episode visually was very gloomy as well. The sunny shots and every scene that there was sunny, it was not very sunny. Except for the scenes at the start of the episode. But then everything was very gloomy, and you know, the mood was rainy. So we've had another nice scene of her with the girls. They were baking macarons, and they were baking macarons because her grandmother asked her to do something with matcha. And that was very nice because it's very Yukari, it's very noble, and the girls could see that, and at the same time they wanted to do macarons because it's also very Yukari. But Yukari complained because macarons have to be perfect. And that's basically what Yukari is. I mean, she always has to be a perfect person. She's always been perfect in everything that she does. So that brings a lot of pressure on her. And then the girls, they just ease that on her by saying, this doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be good, it just needs to be enjoyable. And that's what happened. She was able to overcome that moment by just being with the girls and doing and cooking macarons with them. And they were probably not perfect because macarons are very hard to do, but they were good enough for her and for her grandmother and for what she accomplished, what she wanted to accomplish with that. And then we've had that Eliseo moment, and that was very intense because Eliseo, he showed her a mirror, and then he said, inside this place is your soul. And I thought that she was going to fight against him, but she didn't. She just entered there and she wanted to confront herself. And that was very nice, and that's something that's kind of Yukari as well. I mean, she is afraid of, you know, dealing with her and dealing with her feelings, but at that moment, as Kira Makaran, she was able to enter that mirror and deal with herself and deal with all of the hard moments. And visually, that scene was so intense and that was so powerful. All of those mirrors showing little Yukari doing lots of, you know, different activities, but they showed a lot about her. You know, they were all kind of novel activities, and she probably succeeded in all of them, and people praised her for her abilities. But one thing that little Yukari said, that little girl that appeared there, said, she said that everybody praises me, but no one really knows how I feel. I am lonely all the time. The loneliness doesn't get out of me. And that's something that happens a lot with people that are good with things, because people praise them, people are all around them just because of their abilities, but they don't really get to know them deeply. So it might be hard for them to make friends, it might be hard for them to open up to other people. And that's probably what happened with Yukari her whole life. She wasn't able to open up, she wasn't able to, you know, give herself to someone. But at that moment, she knew that something inside of her was changing. And that's being a precure and meeting the other girls. Because she finally met someone who like those girls, they like Yukari for who she is. And they don't really care if she's the perfect lady, if she's good at everything. They're not fans of Yukari like those girls that follow her. They are real friends. You know, they're people that love her for who she is. And Akira is also one of them. So she's probably very happy. And then there was a very beautiful scene with that little girl, with that little Yukari, when she hugged her, because she said, I love you. And she basically said that I embrace who you are, because you are a troubled and probably traumatic little girl. Traumatic? I don't know if that's an adjective, but you know, she experienced some trauma because of her loneliness. And I embrace that part of myself. But there is also light inside of me, you know, and it's a great thing because no one is only light or only darkness. We are human beings, we're multifaceted beings. So that's what happened with her here. And I loved that. I really loved that. And it was so powerful seeing that she hugging the little girl and, you know, just accepting those dark parts of her, those dark parts inside of her. And I loved that so much. And the fighting was also very interesting. I loved when Yukari broke free from the mirror and she just jumped right into Akira's arms and they were together. Oh my god. And you know, they were just gave a very nice moment. They just gave us a very nice moment with a duo attack, and it was so nice seeing them attack together. Another thing that I also loved about the fights was that the girls were able to use their powers, but not in the stock footage way. They just used it, you know, in a different manner. And so I really liked that. And I also loved how Akira just jumped right and started fighting against Eliseo when she saw Akira when she saw Yukari in the mirror. So you know, she just went there, she just made a sword with chocolate, and oh my god, I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? This is so amazing. And Macaron Julian was so strong in this episode. Oh my god. And also I liked that in this episode they used their group attack to defeat the monster. It wasn't the Cure Parfait attack, and that was very interesting as well. So yeah, I just loved this episode. I think it was an amazing thing. The way Yukari's grandmother talked about her in the end was also gorgeous. I loved it. And you know, she can lose herself because she's very young, but she always finds a way to get back to her on her own. And that was amazing. That was really beautiful, and I loved this episode. Time's running out, guys. I'm very excited for Akira next episode as well. Akira is going to be amazing with Miku, and I am really excited for that. I also love how Eliseo is dark and how he attacks. I love him as a villain. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk more about magical girls next time. So, see you next time, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.